But coming back to why I kind of like had to speak up on Good Morning Britain was because I just thought I can't sit there and be quiet. And when the guy said build more prisons, like we need more money to build more prisons, and I just thought to myself, that's not the answer. You know, it's a vicious circle as far as I'm concerned. And I think we need to really come together and realise that there's some things that we need help with, but there's also a lot that we can do to help ourselves.
So we need to think about what are these services, and that's why this networking opportunity is fantastic today. What are the right services for this person? Who's going to best tap into what their needs are and how we can support them so that they have that one trusted, protective factor.
The thing is with young people, a lot of them have trust issues and attachment issues. If they don't trust you, they won't work with you. A lot of them, you have to build a relationship up with them. You have to be consistent. You can't just dip in and out of their life. You need to be there for a long, long time, because sometimes with some of these young people, it takes a long time to build up a relationship.
For me, it is about investing that money that you want to build the prison with back into the community, because if you don't invest in the environment, you won't change anything. We've still got a massive problem with poverty. And when I speak to a lot of boys that are going through the lifestyle, you know, one of their main drivers for joining the gang, okay, some of it is obviously because of lack of family, perhaps lack of role model, but a lot of it is down to money.
If you're a mum and you don't know where your child is, whose fault is that? If you're a dad and you're not raising your child, whose fault is that?
It's going to take so many different services coming together, and that's why in Scotland, in Glasgow, which was the murder capital of Europe, you know, they had to take this public health approach where it was all services, all people coming together. You know, it takes a village to raise a child at the end of the day.
The first thing that reached me in court was the day of sentencing of the guy who took my son's life. His mum was so, I was more focused on his mum, and she was so distraught at the end of the day. She just carried him. She didn't stab my son. It was her son that, it wasn't even her son that killed my son. The system killed my son. Because the system failed him, which failed my son, which failed me. I don't grieve for my children, I grieve for the system.
Why are kids walking the streets at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night? Why are parents not saying, or asking the question, where is my child?
They're at work.
Not always. But, you know, if you're a single mum and you're working 2 jobs so that you can feed your child, I fully understand that. And that is how, unfortunately, some children do fall into gangs, because parents aren't around, so they get lost to the streets.
We're not talking about those mothers who work. Those are good mums. What we're talking about is the mums who don't work and the dads who are not accountable. We cannot keep blaming everyone for our mistakes. I'm not quite sure why we keep talking as if this is not a problem. We have a crisis in our communities. Now, the point that Alex has made, I don't think people sinking in. He was explaining the importance of what his dad. And I'm going to tell you, as a person that goes around the world, all these young men and women involved in this lifestyle, at least 80 to 90% of them have no fathers. Now don't get me wrong, the government have its place, which is to make sure the education system is good, make sure you get jobs, make sure you get apprenticeship. I understand that. But let me tell you something, before your child goes to school, they have to come out your own. And we've got children as young as 10 and 11 who are out on the street until 1 o'clock in the morning. Who are you going to blame for that? Are we going to constantly blame, oh, it's the government's fault?
I just want to share some statistics with you. 80% of our boys are in young offenders. Institutions have been excluded. 74% of those are girls. 21% of young people charged with knife offence were excluded, compared to 0.1% of the community. And I think the elephant in the room as well is about the exclusion and being an educationalist. There needs to be a curriculum that is fit for purpose for our whatever race, whatever gender, because it clearly isn't.
Why is it that the system has taken away resources from young people? My mum's best friend's son, he killed my mum. You get given like a homicide report that you can freely read. And what was shocking is over 90 pages is that James was failed from such a young age. I think it was at the age of 9 or something like that when he was like socially not interacting. His first offence was the age of like 15 where he stabbed a friend in the head. So he got like some petty sentence of like four months or something like that. And then when he came out, you know, it was that kind of, oh, he didn't turn up at probation or he didn't turn up at like other places, but the system failed him on that MAPA thing, like, oh no, he's all right. So who is actually at fault for the person who killed my mum? Because he could have been held, but yeah.
He's working in the children's social care in the system for 12 years. There's not many social workers who can relate to and that connect to and build a positive, trusting relationship with children and young people, and that's what they need. These young people in care, they haven't got no one. They haven't got families. They haven't got parents. So they need someone consistent in their life, someone that they can trust. Because a lot of them are young people and children. They won't speak to police. They won't speak to social workers.
So I come from a background of working in the prison service and secure units with adults, children, and both males and females. What we know is a lot of people that engage in gang activity or engage in the criminal justice system actually have a lot of adverse childhood experiences, and actually is a part of the root causes of why people engage in these behaviours. But actually we are trying to arrest away the problem or detain away the problem, and actually we're not looking at the root causes and actually what some of the protective factors are. Exactly what Alex and Sheldon have said is actually having that one trusted person. That does not have to be mum if mum's constantly at work. We have to think about actually, like you said, around identity. Who is the person that will best connect with that person? Is it in schools? And if it is in schools, why on earth are we excluding our children at a ridiculous rate when school acts as a safeguarding factor for these children?
I'm working with a family at the moment that the child is primary age who's been excluded from primary school, permanently excluded. There is no school for this child to go to. He's not a bad child. He's been failed. There's so many agencies that's been involved in this young child's life, but nobody is providing actually listening to that child and find out exactly what the underpinning problems are. So you can see the future for him.
We're in a situation where provision for young people, society's been quite cruel to young people. They've cut youth services, they've cut the voluntary sector that used to support our young people. They're even cut school budgets.
Then, although there needs to be more services for children, there needs to be more services for parents. You know, it takes a village to raise a child at the end of the day.